I want the actual award winners to come and like pick them up.
Imagine if we
persuade
could
Jason Day or something.
Well, even just one award winner to just
to actually
turn up.
send a video.
Send a video.
You know how they say, they couldn't be here today because we're in a business park in Winners Triangle and they wouldn't want to be here.
Well, you know how I'm good at talking people into things. Imagine if I could just talk someone into like bigging up this award ceremony and then they turn up into a cupboard in Reading and we give them that.
Hello and welcome back to the episode of Kick Point, the Golf Gear Show. Joe, it's our birthday.
Happy anniversary, Dan.
Happy anniversary, Joe.
Oh, you don't like touching, do you?
Well, I can shake hands consensually, yeah. On this actual day, June 20th as well.
Was it really?
Because we used to come out on Thursdays, didn't we? And now it's a Friday and then you move on the year. It's to the day, to the date rather than the day, if that interests you or anybody else.
Exciting. What are your first memories of that first little pilot episode?
I was wearing a grey Adidas jumper. The weather was warm but cloudy. No, I can't remember.
Fascinating insight. I remember us scrambling around in the cupboard trying to find anything that could make a set look sort of set-like.
Yeah, if you go back to our first episode, which you can't see on YouTube, but you can find on the website somewhere, the set looks awful.
Wasn't a good start.
But we were like, collectively like, yeah, this is sick.
We nailed this. Yeah.
So it's nice, but it's nice to move and improve. So if you're new, what we're going to do today is going to be pertinent to you. Mm-hmm. If you're an OG, what we're going to do today is also going to be pertinent to you.
Yes, it's going to be a catch-up for the newbies.
Exactly.
And it's going to be a walk down memory lane for the OGs.
Yeah. Do you know when shows, and I don't like it when they do this, but like The Simpsons did it a couple of times every other season, there was an Office one, a clip show, where clearly the network's got to fill an episode in. They can't afford to pay the actors for the day. So they're just going to rehash some old content because it's easier.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, there were ideas knocking around.
I think this isn't a last resort. We had plenty of other options. We just felt this was a cool,
fun thing to be able to do.
Just a little look back.
Because we've done some really cool things over the last year, and what we're crowning it off with this week is what I've dubbed the interview of the century. You know, for David Frost, go away. Parkinson, who are you?
Prince Andrew.
He didn't do the interviewing.
What was her name?
Emily Maitlis.
Yeah.
Gone. Prince Andrew.
And you, Prince Andrew.
Why are you sullying our first anniversary with Prince Andrew,
I'm
chap?
Not sullying
Yes, you are. You're bringing his name into this house.
Bring up high-profile interviews.
Your high-profile interview with Jimmy Bullard is the sort of crowning glory of this episode. But before that, we're going to go through some of our best bits via social clips. Yeah, we'll wait for this. Me and Joe are going to watch the social clip. With you, we'll play it.
It's a bit like Gogglebox.
Yeah.
You're going to watch us watch stuff, and then we're going to talk about what we've seen.
So what do you want to start with? Actually, can I start, please?
Go on. Do you want me to find it?
I've got it already. That's why I've decided to start.
That's a good idea.
It is Richard Bland. Now, he was our first proper guest, wasn't he? Do you remember?
Yeah, I'm just teeing up my next one.
Okay, you tee up the next one while I talk. He was our first proper guest. I can't remember how we got him. Oh, True Linkswear set us up very loosely. Not been in touch with them since. But he just won his first Senior Major of the Year, or the second one up in Michigan. I think it was the PGA Senior up in Michigan.
I think it was...
Or was it the second one?
Oh, crikey, now you're pushing me. It might have been sandwiched between the two, I think.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I think we interviewed him post the first one and pre the second.
I'd done a monthly meets with him, which is a long-form interview series on the Golf Monthly YouTube channel. And on a whim, we were like, oh, gosh, we've got a podcast. We were fairly new. Oh, gosh, we've got a podcast. He'd be a good what's in the bag because he's live and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And he was brilliant.
He was gold dust. Supposed to give us 15 minutes. Should we play it first?
Let's play the clip, shall we?
Which bit are you playing the clip of?
Gripping.
I've gone down to 3 layers of tape. So basically, I put them, I have them a fraction down the left, so a hair open.
So when you put them in do you use a vice to do that?
Trim.
You just on the floor?
Old
school,
school.
slip them on. So you're not lining it up to anything.
Butt it up against a brick wall.
And ship them across.
There you go. Yeah, and then just do it by feel.
Love it.
And one thing I don't do is I don't stretch the grip on either.
Okay, so do you measure?
No, I just kind of measure from so I'll have
There'll be a mark.
There'll be a mark. So I'll always then put the tape probably about half an inch above that mark.
Yeah.
Someone help me really quickly on the reminder thing because I can feel it at the bottom.
I
should as well. Down to my level for a second. There's a bit of a chop. And my microphone. So, what am I feeling there?
Do you want to take this, Richard?
I still have. I think I still have one at home. Now, I played probably for 2 seasons with reminders on back to front like that. So the head was this. Because I struggled basically for a while. My left hand would get too weak.
So you could use that
So I,
grid
so I
as a
used it,
barometer.
so I used it. So like there, I could feel right. So there's the reminder. So my thumb had to be on the right side of the reminder.
Dan, this is the greatest day of my
This
life.
is so cool.
Right on my
So yeah,
foot.
so
And
yeah.
stretching, by the way, Dan, is when
What's
the
stretching?
guys will just push the grip on slightly too far, too
So
aggressively.
it become too thin.
The rubber gets stretched a bit.
These
becomes thinner, then
these are 58 reminders as well.
rather than
Whereas
say 60.
most people use
grips
60.
will be a standard 60 core. We'll get into core grip sizes another time, Dan. But yeah,
Oh, so good. That really brought back a lot of memories, actually.
That was when I first thought this is going to be something we can do, and this is going to be a good fun. We were thrown together. We sort of knew each other a bit as work colleagues. We didn't have that much to do together, did we?
Not massively, no.
We
No,
weren't.
I was your buddy. Remember? Whenever you had boring IT questions, you were slacking me like it was no tomorrow.
Unofficially, you weren't. I was assigned Sam, but I don't know why I started hassling you more.
Probably because I kept responding. It's my
Yeah.
fault. So when you feed
Fool.
a sad cat.
But yeah, it's when we started to felt like we were having a bit of rapport, and then to get someone that early who was pretty high profile at that point and was willing to give us the amount of time he gave us, which was like an hour and 20.
It was so
I think
long.
we asked him for 15 minutes, and it was so far over an hour.
Well, that's why
wasn't
we
it?
were stood up, because I was like,
Yeah.
we'll do a 15-minute chat. Hour and 20 minutes later, my hamstrings are shaking because I'm like, I'm going to collapse here.
But yeah, the content of it is great, and that was just so up my street early. Just boring to some people, grip chat, but just hearing the depth that that quality of player goes to in terms of, I have to do it myself because I know how open I like it. I make sure it doesn't get stretched on because that gets too thin for me. I use a 58 rather than a 60 core grip.
You must have been.
The
You could see you were.
reminder-
Your body was twitching.
Yeah, my hands kept creeping into the screen, didn't I? I do wonder what he thought at the time. But I've seen him a couple of times since. I saw him at Live Singapore, made a beeline for me, said hello, how are we doing? And a great chat. So he obviously remembered it and enjoyed it. And just even hearing that he'd tried something that I had, where he flipped the grip over and used the reminder on the top, which is something I thought I was geeky and weird enough to have tried. But to hear he tried it was just a really cool start, wasn't it, to the sort of our podcast journey? First
So
venture out the
good.
studio.
Yeah, first venture at the studio, did it on a bit of a whim, and then got gold, basically. So go back and listen to that episode, because it was a full special. It was just the interview for an hour and a bit, and he properly geeked out. And then I think we thought we were on to something then. We were like, right, if we can get more people like this on, we're going to be cooking.
Do you know what? Like,
on
I'm not
gas
saying
here.
we were pioneers there, but I think that was that was a big moment in showing our bosses that we could do something
yeah.
a bit different here. We could engage with people, and people wanted to talk about this stuff more geekily. And I've never really seen, to this day, and I'm not sure we ever will again, a top leading pro at the time stand for an hour plus just talking about gear. What's in the
Yeah.
bags you see, they're always 8 minutes, 10 minutes.
Yeah, they're
aren't they?
desperate to get out of there.
We wanged on for over an hour. I've
I
never
think he
seen that happen.
He was picking up a new car for his other half.
He was,
probably
yeah.
waiting, probably been idling for about an hour. He must have been late.
Probably was, yeah.
So that's an early one, not on YouTube. Again, we didn't start YouTube till November. We'll be on the website somewhere, I think, the Golf Monthly website. If you want to watch it, but you can listen to it.
Also, if you want to see just that clip, for example, you can just...
go follow us on Instagram.
Well, you've
TikTok.
actually just seen it, haven't you?
They have just
So you
watched
could just rewind that. That would be fine too. Yeah.
What do you want to go for? What do you want to do?
Well, I'm going to change the pace a little bit here.
Okay.
Slightly less gear nerdy. This was one of our... When we started reading out correspondence, this is one of our early Ask the Pods, and this is from
See
my
where this is
favourite,
going.
Wendy. Watch this. Despite Joe being my secret crush, my husband Steve is a golf nut and he absolutely loves the podcast. Despite not understanding any of the podcast, it's always on in the background, and I've
read that
grown
wrong,
very
by the
fond
way.
of you and your funny little relationship
back.
with each other. That's nice, isn't it?
So they're both listening and
Gets
have got
better.
no idea what's going on.
Gets better.
Go on.
Despite Joe being my secret crush, my
That's a
question
good
is
one.
actually for young Daniel on the apparel side of things. I'm fed up of him leaving to play golf dressed like one of the cast of Last of the Summer Wine. Great reference. Which,
good
for those of you
reference.
watching in America,
Can't. What's that reference?
do you not know that?
I did Google it.
Last
in
of the
end,
Summer
actually.
Wine is a programme on BBC years ago with a load of old boys that ran riot around this village. So they got into japes and scrapes and whatever. They were just badly dressed old men.
She's basically saying her husband's a badly dressed old man.
It's a great reference. I love it, Wendy. Wendy says, I'm prepared to cough up and buy him a full new wardrobe.
The absolute key is 2 pairs of trousers, one black and one navy, 2 quarter zips.
Stand
I like
by
a
that.
quarter zip, and if he's an older man, presuming he is, I think that's
know
just
why.
nice and clean. Let's not go too wild. Never get black shoes. They look terrible. And that's us down to a T. Good correspondence followed by some proper consumer advice.
Yeah, and I think we absolutely nailed it. Obviously, that was self-indulgent for me. I hope you're well, Wendy.
Wendy.
You haven't been in touch since. Get back.
Bit worrying.
Yeah.
Hope they're okay.
I hope they are okay. But yeah, funny, that was the start of our sort of let's bring... Because we were just talking possibly into an echo chamber to start with. Then correspondence started coming through, which reassured us that people were watching and listening. And that was sort of, again, early doors in our journey of the back and forth with the audience, which we love, don't we?
That was it. It felt weird starting it. Like you said, we got an email, and we had a couple come through a month.
We'd like ring each other. But shouldn't there's been an email?
We'd drop all of our work and start again. Right, I'm going to go find another one. I haven't really got this up, Joe, so do you want to talk for a minute about other things that have happened?
I think I'm sort
If you're ready.
No, oh, yeah, I am.
Go on.
This was a more recent thing. Again, I'm focusing more on the comedy side.
That's fine. We're trying to be fun.
Yeah, this came with some good equipment stuff as well. So this is when I had a good chat with Bryson DeChambeau in Singapore.
This is classic.
Bryson, I played around with your clubs in a PGA event and I won.
Please tell everybody what he said to you. It was. This is. Yes, you
Can I
can.
say the word?
I'm giving you the all clear. I'm not your father or your boss, but this is too funny to leave out.
Can I do the impression?
If you want to, do the impression.
I didn't do the impression.
And just tell him whatever. So what did you say?
Didn't. So video in his bag.
People
He's
get
just
it,
sitting there clipping away. He said, "Sure, not much has changed. Don't worry." I was like, "Oh, cool. Do you mind if I just help yourself?" Going through it all, and so I thought, right, I'm in here. We're chatting away. So I said, "Oh, Bryson, I played in a PGA event. I put your clubs together, crank driver, it's me, spare set of irons, put it all together and played a PGA event. And I actually won." He's like, "Oh, no way, man. That's cool." I was like, "Well, thank you, Bryson."
This character development you've got going on.
Thank you. And then he said, "How did you find them?" I said, "Oh, God, the irons were hard work. They were. Those grips super thick.
Yeah.
Shafts stiff and heavy. It's just really hard work." And he just looked me square in the eye and just said, "I'll do it down the lens, shall I?"
Yeah.
"Maybe you need a bigger..." I'll stop it there. Because it went on with me projecting what responses I would have given that I didn't give. But yeah,
you can fill in the rest or go and listen to that episode.
That was one of the weirder interactions I've had with a player since doing the podcast.
We've had a couple of dances with Bryson, haven't you now?
Yeah, there was the bit where he told me to calm down.
Yes, that's good. We can show that again. Let me show that again.
Bryson,
dig that.
Okay, cool.
Very quick.
Yeah, for context on that was when I hijacked him at Live JCB.
Complete ambush.
Against the wishes of the PR people. And just, and then he gave me a few minutes after he'd hit a tee shot, or like a minute. And I was rushing to try and get it all done. He just, take your time. Take your time, buddy. Which was nice.
Which is how you talk to a toddler who's having a bit of a sugar rush.
So that's essentially what was going on. And then, I thought I'd take the opportunity in Singapore. I don't know whether I thought he'd be just astounded by my achievement with his clubs. don't know what I was expecting.
I wonder if he's seen the video yet.
I'm pretty confident he hasn't. I got quite pally with his. This is such an exaggeration. Actually, I wasn't pally at all. We sat.
You had a
next to each other in
conversation
the
with
press room.
him.
We had a lengthy conversation, a couple of hours, with his creative director Hogan, who I showed the video to. So he's seen it. So there may be a world in which he's gone, "Oh, there's an interesting video. You know that lunatic on the range you spoke to earlier, Bryson? Here's the video."
He actually did do what he said.
He did. He wasn't lying. So that was quite funny and interesting. And yeah, it's just the podcast has brought us these opportunities, particularly with Live, the two events that we've attended, to get in there and see some.
Can you stop doing
Is that me? I thought Johnny was snorting. I thought it was coming from over there. I thought it was going,
So for reference, Joe's kicking the microphone.
I thought it was coming from over
and Joe
there.
thought our producer Johnny
why I
was
glanced-
snorting.
That's why I glanced over to him.
You're not that funny, pal.
Yeah, but to get, even to just hang around on the range, it's one of the coolest places when you get range access. To stand around being a nuisance near the players is admittedly what we're doing, but you hear some really interesting conversations. You get to have a bit more of a flavour of who they are because they're not in front of camera and they're just chatting to their mates or caddy, this, that and the other. You see some, when I saw Bryson measuring the curvature of just pulling out.
You do pick up a few bits, don't you?
From the rucksacks and measuring the curvature with this device. You just see some interesting stuff, and quite clearly hear some interesting stuff as well.
Oh gosh, I did like that. And I will say, I know we had a few comments saying we lent too much on Live because people don't like Live, and that's absolutely fine. I don't really like Live, but what they had given us is a huge amount of access over the last year for 2 events now, and we've got some of our best content from that, which we might come on to some more in a minute. But those 2 days at the JCB event last year was so much fun.
Yeah, we had
and
a
we
good
did get
time,
some good
didn't we?
content from that, didn't
And
we?
we just over-delivered, didn't we? We didn't know what to expect, and we got loads.
Because you were a pest, and a
Menace.
good pest. Right, speaking of you, I've got a funny one.
I've
Get
started one.
steady on.
Sorry.
From who remembers the Pointy Awards? What were they all
Who
about?
remembers? Who doesn't remember the Pointy
It's a permanent
Awards?
thing on our set now. Look at that. Shouldn't these have been delivered to the various winners? Have we not sent?
Yeah, they've
No,
gone
this is
out.
our one,
This
isn't
is
it?
our
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
yeah.
So the Pointy Awards, which I don't know how we got away with that so early into the podcast. About 6 months in, we were like, yeah, we're just going to do this.
It's a bold play, wasn't it?
We came dressed with bow ties on and white shirts. Remember that day, didn't we? We had some
Remember that
wine
one.
on set. We enjoyed that, didn't we, team? And Joe reading off the auto cue like Ron Burgundy.
Ping G430 Max 10K for just being a total unicorn of a driver that defied.
That still gets
You've
me.
spelt that wrong in the notes deliberately.
I did it on purpose.
That
Try and leave a word
defied-
in. You're like Ron Burgundy. Don't just read everything that's on the auto cue. You should engage your brain. Engage your brain. Actually, that should be a quote on here. Engage your brain.
Yeah, no real excuses there. We'd had a couple. Well, we had that sort of pudding wine that had been left.
Yeah,
In
warm pudding wine that you kept pouring large glasses of at 11.
Yeah, it was quite early.
We had our Christmas do the evening, I think, didn't we?
But I still maintain that was a setup. I think you wrote that hoping that would happen.
I hope we can bring the Pointy Awards back for 2025.
I'm sure we can. Yeah,
I'm sure we can.
absolutely.
We're in control of that.
And we can make it bigger and better than it
Yeah,
even was.
I want the actual award winners to come and like pick them up.
Imagine if we
persuade
could
Jason Day or something.
Well, even just one award winner to just
To actually
turn up,
send a video.
send a video.
You know how they say, oh, they
or-
couldn't be here today because we're in a business park in Winners Triangle and they wouldn't want to be here.
Well, you know how I'm good at talking people into things. Imagine if I could just talk someone into like bigging up this award ceremony, and then they turn up into a cupboard in Reading, and we give them that. That would be tremendous.
Here's what we could actually genuinely do
Yep.
is at any events we get to go to this year, we hand a tour player or someone of significance this trophy.
And get a speech.
Either give it them as if they've won it or get them to present the award.
Yeah,
So say, here
fine.
you go. So we find, for example, we go see...
Done it again.
We go and see Richard Bland at Live JCB again. We know him now. We say, Richard...
We're going to see Blandy all over the place. Live JCB if we go there. The Senior British Open that we're talking about going to, he's likely to be playing.
he will be, won't he? So we can go there and get him to present this award for somebody.
like it.
Okay, cool. Brainstorming on the job. Good stuff. What you got next for us, Joe?
Right, this was
walk
one of
down
our
memory lane.
highest performing clips.
Yeah, we like a high performer. Here
This is
at-
from
here
Ian
at Kick Point.
Poulter. Do you remember his grip? His grip chat. Oh, I was going to go. Will I go grip or will I go glove?
You can do both if you like.
No, I'm going to go glove because I've got, no.
And then the people can go and watch the other one
I'm
themselves.
going grip, so go and watch the glove one. So the glove one, the grip one was
Let
on
him go
something
and
we
watch
spoke
it.
about in the main Whitby, and the glove one was when he stopped me afterwards and
Yeah.
said, "I enjoyed that. You could have asked me about this. You should have asked me about my glove." I was like, "Oh, go on then."
And you were flapping.
And then,
Oh,
no,
God,
I wasn't. I was quite cool
I
then.
forgot.
I put the phone on and said, "Go on then, Ian. Tell me about your glove." Really dismissively. Don't you remember? That was
I
quite
do
funny.
know, yeah.
But this
Go on
is
then, tell
about
us about
his
your custom glove.
grip setup.
Mark off 3 inches from the top
Can I
with a
look at it?
line.
Yeah.
I mark off 4 inches down. I start with one piece of tape starting here, going down, and then I start with another piece of tape from 3 inches going down, and then I do 3 full layers over the top of all double-sided tape. Okay, so
reminded me of two
right
things,
there
this.
Oh, God.
is
Look at the
3
microphone in
layers.
his hand.
Yes.
Right there is 4 layers. Right there is 5 layers.
So we're just taking taper out.
Oh,
We're trying to
all
take
I'm
some
doing
taper
is
out.
taking slight taper out because, you know, the last time I looked, when I go like this, my hands are the same size.
Yeah.
So why am I going to hold something spindly in the right hand when the left hand's... It's never made sense to me why it tapers so much into the right hand.
Oh, sorry, I was giggling there. The reason I was giggling there is because I had a great idea that Callum, our social media editor, got us the little green puffy things on top of the mic, the wind deflector.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know we're not using these mics, we were just using shotgun mics.
Great branding
I
opportunity.
was like,
though.
branding opportunity. And then as he's just gone, and then as he's put the microphone under his armpit, and then gone like
And
that.
the audio didn't change
And the audio
at all.
didn't change at all.
So we had him mic'd up with a clip mic and we're just carrying this foam. I did a really good job of keeping it in my chin to masquerade that it was doing something. Poulter soon cottoned onto the fact it was a prop and basically tossed it away. That is really funny looking. It got pointed out on the YouTube video a couple of times, didn't it?
Why's your two microphones?
Yeah, that is pretty funny. But
However,
that's got me.
however, it was. I'm putting that top 2 or 3 interviews, because what I found from that, watching from behind the camera on the day, was that Poulter started in what I suspected Poulter would be, a bit like, oh God, maybe go a bit of media, whatever. Oh God, so what's in the bag? Right, yes, this driver does this. What you did was come in, get your John Thomas out effectively.
I didn't do that.
He didn't do that, but just start having a bit of a measuring contest, and it was tit for tat. You went, "Oh, Ian, I'm not a chump," and he went, "Yeah, I know you're not a chump. I know this as well." And then you went again, and it was a real tete-a-tete between two gear nerds, and I enjoyed watching Poulter having to.
It's kind. I like that you said that. And I remember you saying it on the day, and I thought, oh, that's really cool, because that gives it something else. And to be fair, a lot of the comments reflected that and said, oh, it's great to see someone getting into the nitty gritty and these what's in the bag rather than keeping it top line. But like you said, you could see it, couldn't you, in the video? Like, again, go and have a look at that on the Golf Monthly YouTube. You can almost pinpoint the moment relatively early on where he sort of switches on and goes, oh, this might be a bit more interesting.
I've got a conversation here. I've got to be on it.
And that was really cool.
That's what that felt like there. He was very passionately explaining this to you.
And once again, he got onto one of my favourite topics, which is grips, because
You
it's the
managed to
only
get one
point
in
of
there,
contact
didn't
with the club. And I sometimes see it through your lens, where you started this. Obviously, you like golf and stuff like that, but you weren't very... that was patronising, wasn't it? But you weren't very tech savvy, were you? You weren't necessarily clued up as to what a lot of these pros did with their equipment.
I've learned so much over the last year.
In a year. And then that was kind of the start of it, where you're like, oh, wow, what people put different amounts of tape and put that tape in different places. Because, oh, yeah, why would you have something thinner in your bottom hand than your top hand? But some people just carry on with that because that's what they grew up with and they were used to. So it's kind of, yeah, it's nice to see that stuff infiltrating you and you finding that interesting, or at least pretending to.
I think I do now, broadly. Yeah,
Good.
I think I actually find it. I've learned so much over these last 12 months. Like, I actually
Which is what this has been all about. Our editor,
Yeah.
said to
You've
us,
got a separate editor.
said, Dan is something of a buffoon, Joe. We're going to create this whole podcast masquerade that it's a thing. Could you just get him up to speed over the course of a year, is what he said.
This hasn't seen the light of day.
No, never.
But I have learned a lot. I'll be able to pass that on to my friends, and when we talk about golf equipment, I can hold my own in a golf equipment conversation now.
I
which is quite
consider
nice.
you, yeah, very much clued up. I'd say you're a more intermediate golf nerd now, I'd say. Yeah.
And hopefully the listeners, I reckon a lot of our listeners either arrived already golf nerdy and are just kind of like vibing off that, and alongside these people, I think we've got some people who are just like, I've got no idea, let me learn with these chumps along the way. Have you got any more for us?
I was going to play the Reed one where we chatted about the BB&F Ferrell.
Yeah, I
and
put
he
a rude
switched
word
on.
in there,
You had put a rude word in that note. But that's kind of the same thing, isn't it? It's kind of illustrating that all of a sudden it's like, okay, what's in the back? Oh, wow, this is fun. And like, they like talking at depth. So if you can match it, it seems to be really good fun. I've done some much poorer ones as well.
Oh, yeah.
Adrian Maronk, which
we should almost put that out as like a special nugget for people.
Maybe get that out on the socials at some point,
We'll
or a clip
it's not
of it.
going to be
It was
in
absolutely
this.
pathetic. I did have one more.
Go on, let's have one
Do you
more before we
mind?
pass on to the Bulldog. Do you need to go find it and I can fill for a
Just
minute?
fill for 2 seconds. Did this ever go on? Where did Sausage Fingers go?
Oh,
There it
Sausage
is.
Fingers is out.
Sausage Fingers is
Now
out.
this is what we've kind of melded into over the last 12 months.
But I think this is a funny little, like, it's funny. I think this captures what we should be. There's info in here about what older players did with their equipment, and it's done in a funny way. Listen up, see if you agree.
It's like you want to sell us at a market.
Bernard Langer was an interesting. He used to. He hated the feel of a new glove. Are you like that?
No.
So I hate the feel of a new glove. It
I love
feels
a new glove.
tight and constrictive on my hand
just
until
how I
it
like it.
loosens up. Well, it says a lot about you. Until it loosens up and you had a few swings and the leather sort of beds in a little bit and becomes a little bit more malleable. I find it quite stiff and tight. So he used to get his old caddy, Pete Coleman, I think whose glove size was like maybe 2 sizes bigger than Langer's. So while Langer was warming up, he'd slip his sausage fingers into the glove, stretch it out. So when Big Bernie was ready to go, it was loose as a goose. So part of the caddy,
That is
part of that
hilarious.
butler's job was to get the sauce of the Cumberlands into the FootJoy and
You're like, oh, Johnny.
loosen it up.
You're like, Johnny. Bernard warming up, and his caddy not watching his numbers,
this on,
checking the
Pete.
flight, just shoving his hand into a glove.
Stretching out gloves. That's part of your job.
Super.
Imagine that in the job description on Indeed.
Must have fat fingers. King Charles fingers. King Charles would be a great caddy for stretching
Wouldn't
gloves.
he?
Oh my, you seen
I
them?
think that'd be too much.
And that is a conversation you can only get here on Kickpoint, the Golf Gear show.
You're
And
welcome.
that sentence, putting his Cumberlands into the foot joint, has never been said on planet Earth
No.
before that day. As long as the English language, the Germanic English language, whatever our language is, wherever
Yeah.
it originated from,
Yeah.
right? However long that's been around, those words have never been put in that order. How does that make you feel?
Really proud. Really, really proud. But again, like I say, it's quite funny, that story. And when you add the Cumberlands into the footjoy, humour. When
Good
you're
fun.
talking about how a player might not like the feel. And some people will be out there like that going, oh, yeah, I hate buying a new glove and I have to use it. That's really annoying. My bag's just fallen over. That's also humorous. But when you put, if that's someone like you can go and have a look around the bar at your golf club for the guy with
Find the big lad.
the biggest plates of meat.
Yeah.
And just get him stretching his gloves out. Buy him a pint. Say, do you mind stretching these out? for
We've
me?"
had fun over the last 12 months, haven't
Haven't
we?
we?
It's been great. I'll tell you what, a couple of messages I've had recently where people are like, listen to you every Saturday, or we had one guy saying, I've been listening to you while I've been doing the garden and in the car. That makes you feel great. That's the best thing, because I love podcasts and like other podcasts. I've listened to podcasts my whole life. Every night before I go to bed for the last 10, 15 years, I've always had a podcast on. And I like how they make me feel.
Yeah.
And the fact that we are that now to a very select few people on the planet.
I hope some of you feel like that because it sort of brings you in and that you feel part of it. A lot of the podcasts I listen to, you feel in that little club, don't you? It's kind of cool. So I hope some of you feel like that because we like doing it.
We like doing it. And that's only 12 months. We've not even referenced the celebrations you bought, which you left in your car. It's been
Yeah, a
quite
bit
a hot
of a
day
problem
today.
there. And
So they're all one big sort of blech of chocolate.
They've coagulated like the balata from the previous
Great
episode.
callback to last week.
Thank you very
Great
much.
callback.
But also that allowed me, because they were softer and more malleable, that allowed me to throw a Snickers at your head as you were walking down the corridor. So that was good as
But
well.
then you
wasn't
also hit Katie King, and that's not on, is
Sorry,
it?
Katie
That's
King.
not on. That's our 12 months. Listen, if you've been there since day one, thank you. Thank you. That's huge from them. Or if you just joined us, let us know what you've enjoyed.
it? Come on. Ria, Johnny, shout out.
Shout out to the production team. Now, we've got
Best in the biz.
two producers in here. Neither of you play golf. Neither of you like golf.
Neither of you like
Now,
us.
I think they might like it now. Yeah, they both hate us. Yeah, they sit in this little room for
Hours on end.
8 hours once a month.
Hearing about grip tape, shaft talk, sausage fingers. Ask the pod. We're asking them to make jingles on the fly as we sing.
Yeah, as we walk in all ADHD going, right, we need a jingle now. And Johnny's like, I'm trying to set the camera up,
Sorry.
please leave me alone.
Yeah.
Just trying to get the lighting to work, you morons. They've put up with it.
Stomach gurgling,
Yeah.
flatulence,
Yeah.
ill-timed comments. You've done. We thank you.
Yeah.
On
These are the
behalf-
guys and girls that make it look like this.
You guys are pointers.
And you are valued. What else? So thank you to everyone who's listened and watched. We're not going anywhere. I'm just saying, it's just reflecting, aren't we? We're just reflecting. A few bits we can plug now, Joe, for the next sort of 12 plus months.
Yeah.
We got a nice trip coming up, haven't we?
We've got a lovely trip.
End of June to Carlsbad, San Diego. We're going to the Kingdom, TPI to see Titleist, and over to Arizona to go and see Ping, to chat with their head honchos, the big fitters, the Rietvels, the Marty Jertsons of the world,
Trotties.
the Trotties of the world. And we're going to bring some very special podcasts from those locations.
Do you reckon we're going to do the TPI thing at TPI, like sort of the physical screening?
I hope so.
I don't, because I think he might tell me my physiological age is about
And
79.
I think that will make some really good content.
Okay, excellent.
It's just you in just like a pair of pants getting scanned. Roll, machine breaks.
Stick your Cumberlands in that.
So we're off to that, and that'll be sort of over the summer. You'll get some content from those places.
I think you'll get some great content from that because
we're gonna ask some people some- you're gonna go mental.
Probing. I'm
Yes.
gonna like those sort of ones where you see people. Oh, we had a look around the kingdom. It was nice. Here's where we get fit. I'm gonna be like, right, what's in this cupboard? Show me this. Where's this head? I want to see the dot head. I want to see this. Adrian, tell me what happened here. Like, I am gonna be.
Yeah.
A menace. Just to pre-warn you, I'm going to be a
No,
menace.
I'm all for it because I don't
Okay.
like being a menace. I can sit and watch you do that. But
Yeah.
what I'm going to do is go through some more recent episodes, or maybe the whole Kickpoint back catalogue. You know, all the times I put a pin in something. and we've asked questions we don't quite have the answer to.
You can get AI to help you with that.
Yeah.
AI, please scale this episode for when I said put a pin in it.
Mate, 52 episodes at probably an average of about an hour and 15 an episode.
Well, you've got about 100 pins to find.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be busy. But all these kind of questions, and why is the QI 10 fairway so popular? We can ask these tailor-made fit these questions. So that's coming up over the summer. Hoping to sneak our way into the Senior Open, legitimately with media credentials, because
I'm not old enough to sneak into it yet.
Because we think these old boys, pardon me, are gonna
It's a great start to getting us in, Dan.
are the biggest gear nerds of them all.
Oh, mate, honestly, you're Retief, Bernard
Goosen.
Langer. Yeah, Retief Goosen, Bernard Langer. Some of the names will like we say, maybe retouch base with Blandon. Miguel. We might get us some CCC no-no-nos for the cool board, which will be the
We
primary.
should probably also ask him some proper questions, otherwise that's quite
that's
patronising.
fine.
Hello, mate, can you just do this and let me leave?
Yeah. And if you could do that with a oh god, there's so many possibilities there. But yeah, so they lived through an era which so many of you will love to hear about.
The war.
No, an era of equipment with a lot of them would have been brought up on persimmon woods, blades, Bullard balls, which
Yeah,
we know
it'd be
came from
fascinating.
what tree?
Beefwood.
Beefwood tree. That's so good.
Do you know why I remember that?
Go on.
It's two kind of rude words, isn't it?
Yes, not at all.
Beef and wood. Yeah, they can
Neither
be.
are
They can
rude.
be if you want them to be.
No, they can't. There'll be there's just going to be some incredible players that we can get from there. So I think that'll be endless content. Can't wait from that. Yeah, the live stuff. Basically, what we're trying to say is this is if you've been with us so far and you like it, I think it's just going to get better.
We've just got started. I genuinely think we've just got going here. So a fun 12 months and 12 more fun months to come with lots of hashtag content. But for now, we're going to pass you on to what I think is the best content we've done so far. He's the Bulldog. Ex-Premier League footballer, England caps, for those who don't know who he is. Television personality, went on I'm a Celebrity to Get Me Out of Here. He was always that kind of player who could transfer from football into the pop culture.
Love this guy.
And then he's ended up, because he's a flusher, an unbelievable golfer, working with his old colleagues at Soccer AM.
He's your Nick Doherty. You're a bit starry-eyed around him.
I just think he's brilliant, and I was so happy. That's the first time I've met him in real life, and he is every bit the person you want him to be and is on camera, which is credit to him, right?
Stop this nonsense. Roll, Jimmy.
No, we've got to contextualise where we are.
Okay.
Thanks to Adidas for setting us up with this. We went at the Manor House in Castle Combe. My phone ran out of storage again, so it might just be... There might be some footage of just Bullard.
Which is fine for you.
Fine, great for me.
Yeah.
And the sound is mint.
Sound is top drawer, isn't it?
Hand off.
Jimmy, let's see what you got to say.
Key point listeners, we're very lucky. We've got former Premier League footballer and now golf YouTubing sensation,
Aha.
Jimmy Bullard.
Mate, I love your stuff, by the way.
Thank you very much. That's
You're
very kind of
wicked,
you. And you love
wicked.
our stuff because you're one of the
Yeah.
UK's foremost equipment perverts.
I'm really bad. I don't know where the grab is. Do you know when you go to a golf tournament, I love looking more at the equipment than the golfers.
You're preaching to the converted here. Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so weird, isn't it?
Yeah. I've
This
always
is
been the
so
same. But
weird.
so was
Yeah.
that like as a junior, as a kid, were you always fascinated?
Do you know, it's in every sport though, right?
I was going to ask you that. Like how
Yeah.
equipment nerdy can you be in football?
Boot room. Like really horny in there. Like the smell of it. All the different boots, how much polish you put on a certain boot and how much you don't. You can blacken World Cup Copa Mundials. How does the tongue sit on the boot? There's all of this, right? Then you got your golf. So you got all the tour bags, what's in the new equipment, blades. Doesn't a golf club look so much better in a tour bag than a normal bag? That really annoys me that we have to play with normal bags. And then you've got, what's the other sport I love? Fishing. And I love looking at fishing equipment more than actual fishing. It's really weird. I don't know what has grabbed me. I think that's why I love fashion. I think that's why we're here, right? I think fashion's part of that. So it's the whole get up behind. If you was going to give me, like, let's pick an Adidas Pro, Aberg, right?
I'm just going to flick my mic off and let you go here, Jimmy.
So sorry.
No, I want you. Go for it.
If you was going to give me Aberg or Aberg's tour bag, no disrespect, I'd rather have his tour bag and just look at the tour bag and what's in it than Aberg.
That's Ludwig. That is not a reflection on you. As
I'm
a
so
person.
sorry, Ludwig. No, it's definitely not a reflection, but I just love equipment that much.
That's really interesting. So, how are you finding? So the transition into like golf YouTube, for example, you played with some great players, right?
Amazing.
And we've just interviewed one. I played with him last year, Mansell.
Amazing.
Who's impressed you most? Number one, and have you looked in any of their bags and thought, that's a bit of me, I want to be playing that stuff? Who's taken your fancy in that regard?
Good question. Do you know what? Not just because Richard Mansell's, when he turned up, was the best best performance we've ever had on camera. I think
Just to recap that, if you've not watched it, go over to Golf Live. He shoots
Thank you, yeah.
9 under par.
10.
Was it 10? Round
10.
Centurion with a 3-putt and a 4-putt.
Mate, I was like, I actually stopped playing with 5 holes to go, going, this could be course record stuff, and we got it on cam. I don't know how it counts, I don't know how all that works, but I know this is magnificent what I'm watching. I was like, he didn't know the course, and I don't know if you know Centurion, a lot of your viewers will. That is that is a hard golf course. We played it off backs. It was a little bit blustery, and I'm just saying, we'll just hit that tree. He's like, oh right, okay, 320, bang, hit that, bang, easy in these shots, just pure, filthed it all the way round, and 10 under. And as you say, it could have been 13, 14 under really easily. And it's just amazing to watch. So he was one of the best performances we've had.
If it makes you feel any better, I did ask him about that earlier, and he thinks that might have been the best 9 holes of golf ever played.
Do you know,
Full stop. Not just by him.
all that loves YouTube. I'm a YouTube fan. I love watching YouTube. I love golf, right? I've never seen, apart from tour players playing on tour, I've never seen a round like that on YouTube. Try and correct me, people. It's that good.
Would fully agree with
Yeah.
you. Let's get into your stuff then, Jimmy. So, big equipment geek, as we're alluding to. So, I watched your What's in the Bag.
Yep.
Your most recent one. So I'm not going to get necessarily down into the What's in the Bag, but I just want to pick on a few things that you mentioned in there. So grips-wise, I'm a big grip nerd, but you pretty standard in terms of like a Tour Velvet. But
Yeah.
you like to take the taper out. You're someone who puts like a couple of layers under your right hand.
I hate taper, yeah.
So where's that come from? Is that just a feel thing you've got, or did you get that from another Tour pro, or what?
Yeah, it's good, great question. So,
Serious journalist.
No,
Jimmy.
you are good. You are levels. Now you just woke me up. So Golf Pride Tour Velvet, for me, most used. So see it on tour, used it, liked it as soon as I had it. Then I started hating looking down on a Golf Pride, so I turned it round, and then I see Sergio Garcia's grips. I was with Adidas back in the day, and we done an Adidas event at Wentworth, and I see he had no taper, and he had a real short grip. It wasn't long. I said, "Why do you not taper?" He said, "I grip down a lot of shots, and I hate to change." Ah, that makes sense. I started doing that, and I really liked it because I started gripping down a lot of shots. That's it, basically. So it's always... but I can't believe how many you have to put on a normal Golf Pride. You put up to 4 or 5 on to take the taper out. So I love a lovely... That was weird. I love a lovely round grip.
Never do that again, Jimmy. This is visual as well. Poulter's the same. We did Poulter at JCB, and he's got a really interesting taping setup where he sort of sets it at different increments and measurements, and he just builds it so it's gradually... It's not just a 2-layer under the bottom hand, it's sort of a gradual taper.
Right.
We did a random Instagram video on that. It went bananas. So people seem to care about grip tapering. But
I think it's important because it's the only part of the golf club you're touching, right? So I think it's really important.
And as you said, why do you want to hold something relatively thick in your top hand and then go down to a skinny little tube in your right hand? It doesn't make any sense, does it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
Sorry, I did try the new
forward.
Golf Pride. No, with the Align, the extra big ones, but they go really slim. So I'm playing around, but do you know what? I'm going against them, and I don't know if we're doing anyone any disjustice here, but I'm going against because I think the speed we swing at, you end up losing that feel, that where it is in your hand. Well, I do anyway. So the Align hasn't really done it for me. Let's say
it's
that.
a Marmite thing. There's some people who just swear by it and love a rib, and can't really feel the club face or where it is without it. And I'm a bit like you on the other end round. I just can't feel the rib. Yeah,
I'm going back old school.
I just don't like it.
Yeah.
You alluded in your What's in the Bag as well. You're big into swing weight and total weight. The old so you were going lighter, massively lighter because you feel you just got a bit more command and control over the club. I was having this debate on the podcast recently. Swing weight, as we all know, is a balance. So where that weight is distributed amongst the club. So as it goes up into D2, D3, D4, it's getting head heavier, if you like.
Yep.
But you can still have a very light club overall mass,
Yep.
but swing weight's high. Are you more sensitive to swing weight, do you think, or the actual total mass of the club?
Yeah, good question. We've done it with Mizuno, and we found out it was total overall weight of the club. I thought it was all swing weight, and then we slowly... I was in and out of the tour van like a junkie, honestly. And he's like, David Matthews, who's been there for 25 years, said, Seffi wasn't this bad, Nick Faldo wasn't this bad, what is the matter with you? I said, don't worry about that, I've got to get this out of my system just so I know. So we found out it's total club weight, and it really made a difference to my game. Took my game, honestly, to another level. Because I've never been big, I've never been strong, I've never been physically what I call a crusher of the ball striker. I've always been a picker. I know my game, and when I went to a light club, it was so much easier. I could get the club. I've always held it as well, how I deliver the club. So I'm what I call a late hitter. I struggle flipping it. I don't really hit left. when I'm under the gun, it's all low right. So everything I liked about it, I liked seeing high left.
I remember you saying in the clutch event you played on, I think it was on YouTube, didn't it?
Yeah.
And you, when you tighten up, you struggle to get that club release and it just goes low right. So with a low swing weight, allowing that club head to release a bit freer.
Exactly that. And even softer in the shaft and a little bit more flighty. I play with Neo Nippon Neo high launch 95s.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, as soon as I hit them, they're the best. I don't think I'll ever come out of them shafts, you know. Unbelievable. So they're the same, just high launching shaft. Everything is to propel the ball high and left, really. And light. I love the light swing weight. I couldn't believe it, right? I went to Thailand. We've done the Icon series, and I picked Sergio Garcia's clubs up. C7.
Yeah, but you know, back weight though, so he has 30 grams of counterweight.
But he's got a heavier club in total.
Yeah, so he sticks 30 grams at the top counterweight in his irons and 20 in his woods. So
how do you know this? Like,
massively, because I don't get out much. I don't get out. I'm married now. I don't have any, you know, all that kind of stuff.
That's so good though.
Well, you say that, but I'm gonna re-pervert you now. So you saying now you like the wind grip that was on your putter, you'd slung on yourself.
Yeah.
You said I think you reshaft some stuff yourself. Do you do all this work yourself? And if so, where do you do it? Have you got a little workshop set up? Do you go to pro shops? What is this all about? Have you got a little cave?
I got a pucker workman. His name's Alex. Basically, he's Alex down at the Wisley. He does all the clubs. Great lad. And we go in there, we shut the door, and we have it. And we proper go to work in there. He's always looked after me. Unbelievable.
You get
club
on with
fit.
the golf clubs.
Yeah. Let me get down to the golf. But honestly, it's so good. Like, we've got everything there, from swing weight machines to loft and light, everything you need. And he's wicked round it. He understands it. And I just love tinkering. And it's because it has made a difference to my game. When I see that, it grabs me and it opens up a whole different avenue of where can you go with it. And I love just tinkering. It's the only way I can put it. But yeah, it's at the Wisley.
I love it. I think that's all I wanted to get into. I just wanted to get a level of how pervy you are with it, and I think that's high.
Like, we can go as high as you want. Like, do you remember Golf Digest back in the day? I know it was probably a magazine that you're against or competing against.
We'll bleep that out.
But they were so good. What's in the bags back in the day? It used to show the yardage. You used to have the little graph, and it used to show all these little bits that we're talking about now. And I know you do it now. It's lovely, and that's why when I was looking at you over there, I was going, I know him from somewhere. I know. He's the perv. But yeah, where did your, sorry to flip it on you, where did your fascination come from? Have you always been like that?
Yeah, do you know what? We sort of had this discussion on the podcast the other day, and I was that junior annoying everyone in the pro shop, or knowing more about the clubs in the shop than the assistant pro did, and then like I'd be extending my putter at home with a wooden spoon, and like before I knew how to do any of this stuff. I remember going to an Edwin Watts. Do you remember in Florida? They had a golf shop out in Florida when I was young. We didn't have them over here, and that's when I first realised they did a round tall velvet instead of just the ribbed ones we had at home. And I don't know, just from a really early age, I just liked all the tech around it. And then even when I played, so I turned pro and I played a bit. And I was the guy you just couldn't get off the tour van, and again bothering that kind of stuff. I don't know. I couldn't pinpoint it. I couldn't say what it is. I just find it all fascinating, and I'll probably be in the same boat.
Makes difference to your game?
Yeah, I think absolutely it does. I think some people maybe overstate. I think good players, in my opinion, can figure out almost anything given a certain amount of time. So I don't think there's a magic. You're this swing weight. This is your spec. I think you change Rory into a very different spec within 2 months. Someone of that ability is gonna figure stuff out.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think you go to a certain point, as long as you're close. How much you believe in a player can mould into their equipment as well a little bit. That's what you're basically saying there, right?
Yeah, and I had a chat with the Avoda guy recently, Tom Bailey, who does Bryson's irons. He's in the 3D printed curve-faced irons. I played an event with those actually quite recently, and that's an experience. And he was saying he believes equipment can be very much responsible for someone's poor golf swings. If you're in something that doesn't quite suit what you need it to do, then to make a ball do something that your equipment can't do, you're going to have to make some compensations, and before you know it, you're down a route of some swing flaws that could have been rectified with a correct fit. So I think there is crucial elements to it, but it's fascinating stuff.
It is. Have you been down one length thing? Like, I went down the Bryson route, I had a little go, and I just didn't have enough power to get the 4 and 5 in the air.
I'm the opposite. I've got enough speed, and the 4 iron, 5 iron I liked. I couldn't get on with a 7-iron length lob wedge.
Yeah.
And the sand wedge, I found it very difficult gauging speed and low point and stuff like that.
I found that weird also, that iron in the bag. So I was thinking, if I did go to it, if I could flight my 4 and 5 on, because I love the concept, but I would go sand wedge, lob wedge and wedge, probably normal length. Do you get what I mean? But then are you defeating the object? I don't know. But I love the concept of shorter, longer clubs.
They do, one of their other big things, you might want to pull on this thread a bit more then, they do a combo length. So
yeah, I've seen.
Yes, and they go higher into that 4, 5, 6 area where people are struggling for speed.
Yeah, that's interesting though, right?
I've got a little set on the way. But I love stuff like that. Like, golf equipment's been the same, haven't we? We've challenged, yes, technology has moved on, but the general principles have all remained the same. So when someone comes along with something a little bit more radical, like I just tested the LA Golf driver yesterday. Have you seen
what
that?
Was that? Yeah, go on.
So the premise behind it is,
because Bryson's involved with that, right?
Correct. Yeah. So Bryson's a big investor at LA Golf and partner, and designed this driver. So the reason Bryson plays that crank driver that he plays, 5 degrees, he's got massive face curvature.
Yeah.
So basically, they're developing a different amount of curvature for different speeds, because if you give someone Bryson's driver that doesn't have his speed and they hit it off the toe, it's just going to go straight right, and they don't have the momentum for gear effect to take place and give you a nice little toe.
Basically brings your misses in whatever club you're playing with. Like higher swing players, these would be more curved, right? So it starts a bit further right and helps it bring in,
and then straightens up with the face. And it's a really interesting concept.
He's done that with his irons as well, right?
Yeah. So curved face. There's 2 sets in the world.
Looks so weird. I've seen it in a magazine. Might have been yours. I'm looking at it. I'm going, that is weird.
Yeah, it's peculiar, but it genuinely, it's effective. Why, if we're saying gear effect is a thing?
Yeah. Why not in irons?
Why not in irons? And he's seen massive gains from that, and they're currently developing LA Golf irons around that. But Jimmy, we could sit here all day and just go off on tangents and ask little questions, but I'm gonna. I did play with them. There you go. I'll tell you that story.
Go on.
There was another story about that, and then Bryson told me Can I swear again? Bryson told me I needed a bigger dick when I brought this up to him. So
really,
I wanted to do a little piece where his bag fascinates me. So 5 degree driver, curved face irons, 1 length, arm lock putter. Like, it's just mental. There's no one who does anything like. So I thought, right, I'm going to get these.
His loft on his irons are obscene as well.
5 irons, 17 degrees.
It's like a 3 iron.
Yeah, no, 2. 2/1 maybe. It's ridiculous, yeah. So, and you try putting down a 2 iron lofted 5 iron that plays at 7 iron length. That's with a cricket bat grip on. So your Tour Velvets, right?
Game,
your Tour Velvets, 50 grams. His grips, those Jumbo Max, 123 grams. So they're 20.
What's his swing weight at?
C7, I think, because there's so much weight at the top end. But if you total weight his golf club, it's like on a strength and conditioning session. You try and lift up one of his irons, you could be doing barbell.
Did you ever go?
I played the event with him. I won the event. So I played.
I
shot 4 under at Sawn. I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link. You'll like that one, Jimmy.
Really?
Yeah. But we played, didn't we? So it was interesting because they were so unbelievably heavy and stiff. I just could not hit them left. Whatever I would throw my hands at, I couldn't hit them left. So it was
one-way
awful,
golf, but nice for scoring.
Quite liberating. Yeah, you know that doesn't exist over there. Yeah. It felt horrific.
Yes.
But after a while, you go, well, this is great. I can throw anything I want.
You could just turn it as hard as you want.
Throw it, yeah.
That's why he has that mega weak grip. He takes one side right out.
Correct.
He tries. He still does it, the hook, but he's taking a lot out there, isn't he?
Correct.
And it's all like anti-whatever, and it's all weak, isn't it? That's mad how to play golf. He's trying to eliminate one side. Do you know what though? That's how I've played golf. That's
you're a cutter of the ball, aren't you?
I'm a left to righter. I've always struggled to draw the ball. I can draw it, but it's inconsistent. It's like a flip draw. Mate, honestly, under the gun, I don't draw it. But that's great. Sometimes you're like, it's fading a bit. But sometimes when you want to score, you know it ain't missing left. It's a nice feeling for the scorecard.
Exactly what I said.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
You know, people try and hit these beautiful straight shots or turn it both ways, and there's so many people, so many pros throughout history have just made a career out of just really one-dimensional stuff because you know what's coming out, right?
I think, like if you used to watch me, really, I'm a bit boring to watch. I don't really strike it. Like, I'm all right, but I fancy myself shooting under par a lot just because I understand how to get it there.
Taking it back to gear, though, your equipment then, I guess, is like some people have that theory and then set their equipment up specifically to do that one thing. You've got the theory that you like that you're going to cut it and you like that it cuts under pressure, but a lot of your gear is, like you said, set up to release and flip and
but do you know
mitigate
why
that.
Because I'm so holdy. I'm so blocky and holdy. I've always had a block. Like, it's so bad. Like, I'm saying that, I've hit one OB left yesterday, first shot. I never hit another one left all round. It's weird. I just don't hit it left. I do. And by the way, if I hit it left, it starts left. It doesn't even move left. It's really
Just a bullet
weird.
pull.
Just like, yeah, it's just a horrible low scuzzer. But I don't hit them a lot. Like, I played, my first big round when it was on me was Clutch Tour.
Yeah.
Par 5.
Can I just say, I'm not blowing smoke anywhere. You dealt with that well, because that could have been horrible, couldn't it? That could have been a nightmare.
Yeah, and that's the thing, that I don't care. That's the nice thing with me. Like, I don't care if I shoot 100.
Do you think that's come from because you've already succeeded at the highest
Yeah.
level in another sport? It's like, well, this is just a laugh,
Yeah.
lads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe I achieved everything in football that I could. My body, I give everything. Now this is like, I'm going to play now. Don't get me wrong, under the gun a bit because I always want to perform because I'm a sportsman, right, at heart, and I want to win, of course. But really, I'm free. After walking down the first tee shot, after that I'm free as a bird. But as I was saying, I was on that tee, I did not hit one ball left. I even said to Ange on about the 5th, let's play with it, right? I'm on the 5th or 6th, let's try and hit this hole was like right to left, it's soft, wind off the right. I just couldn't even draw it, mate. But I said to Ange, we're right here. Can't hit it left.
It's only going one way.
Let's go in one way, mate. Let's play.
What do you think that is? You think that's the psychology of it? You're just holding on?
And I see, it's weird how you say this, I see a picture of me. I'm post-impact, and I'm like, the club should be here. At that angle, it's still there. Do you get what I mean? I'm so holdy, it should be here. Oh, mate, it's so there. But in a way, I tell you who else played like it. Not that I'm likening myself, and I watched Bernard Langer.
Yeah.
Mate, it's a peel push cut. All around Sunningdale, and I watched him 66, and I'm like, that's the future.
Interestingly, though, technique-wise, not dissimilar to you. Pretty strong in left hand,
yeah.
hold and drive.
Bit weak in the right, yeah, mate, absolutely. And I see him, and I played with Colin Montgomery the other day on the channel. I mean, I'm
Just
really intrigued.
Drop the name.
Sorry,
down there,
boom, clanger. I didn't even mean that. That's what we do now. That's what we do now. So I was playing with Colin, Cole, our mate Cole,
Monty.
and I went. Like this thing with Bernard, because I'm really intrigued with Bernard Langer. Like,
You ever delved into his equipment? Sorry to interrupt.
My
My God.
rescues,
We'll get to that.
Adam. Yeah, we'll go on that in a minute. Stay with us. You're loving it more than us. Don't tell lies. So I said to him, "What's his fit?" He said, "Jim, he's just a workman. Like, he wouldn't be that massively impressive to watch, but his scorecard is unbelievable. But the impressive bit is how on a string he has it. Just on a string. Amazing. So I love watching. But 67 and goes and shoots. He shoots his age weekly, which
Regularly
is
beating
sick.
his age, isn't he? Yeah.
And then he come back from Achilles. I think he shot 64, 67. Oh my God!
The man nearly made the cut of the Masters.
Sicko, isn't it?
They're on that
So
golf
good.
course.
So much
Equipment-wise, funny that you mentioned
Yeah.
Monty and Langer in the same breath. Guys that love massive offsets. I used to work at Precision Golf in Surrey and West Byfleet, and Monty used to come in there quite a lot. And you pick his clubs up, some of those disgusting looking golf clubs
Yeah.
you've ever seen.
Big as well.
Massive chunky,
Mm.
bends a ton of offset into it.
Yeah.
Loves that because obviously a cutter of the ball doesn't want to.
Traps it, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's that's quite impressive.
Bernard, Colin plays with like big, like oversized clubs. But Bernard's always been like a bladey kind of player with loads of offset, which is unusual. He used to play with the Hogans back in the day, didn't he? He went from Apex Hogans, and he went to don't interrupt now. Then he went to Then he went
Tour Edge?
No, he didn't.
Or before that?
No, he went
Adams?
Adams. I had IDEA. IDEA.
Yeah,
that's
he
their
still
rescue.
plays those hybrids. Yeah.
Yeah, but then he had.
When did you go out, Jimmy?
I'm bad. Did you see his set when he had like a? He had 3, 4, 5 iron Ben Hogan Apexes. Then he had like a 6-iron Titleist out of nowhere. Then he had Artisan 6-iron.
He had 4
and a
different
9.
brands in his iron set.
Mate, it was like so warped.
So that was a big thing back in the day. Faldo used to say when they were non-contracted for a while, you'd go and just find the 5-iron you liked, and that might be McGregor. Then you'd go and find the 6-iron from Wilson.
That's
then
what
you'd go and find the
Because all they want really is a yardage.
It's a tool,
and
isn't
spin. All they want is that. They don't care what it looks like to a point. They just want that, and that's exactly what I had done. That's where I am with my bag, but I can't get out my Ping I210s because they're so forgiving. I can hit one out the hill and it'll go like 6-iron, it'll go 183 here, and I hit one out the toe and it'll go 188.
Could you do that? I'm one of these OCD people who likes to see all this stuff nice and neat and almost not everything the same brand, but like, could you dot around? Could you go a 4 and 5-iron Hogan, a 6-iron?
It's weird. There's nothing better than a set of like whatever, Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway blades in a bag, all sitting there, all the same. There's nothing better, right? But I'm not going to have a good scorecard with that. So now my head goes, right, there's something cool about having a set that's mixed and matched and doesn't go, and there's some clean, there's some rusty. There's something cool in that. I quite like that. There's one thing that is in Bernard's Langer, and he has in his bag, he hasn't changed. It's 2-ball putter, big thick stripe in it. He's had it since the old king died, and I don't think he's coming out of that. I don't think. And the driver also, he plays with a G400 steel, and that driver, even Rocco Mediate plays with that. All the old boys ain't coming out of that driver.
There's a few Hunding, isn't there, that sit around, unicorn clubs that you just see lasting people's bag. We did what's in the bag with Patrick Reed at JCB. He was playing that G4 at the time. He had the GT in that he was testing, but he still had the G400 in his locker, and I think played the tournament with it. And that was only last year. This is like 5-6 generations
epic
old.
driver that is.
Yeah, and we've seen it now.
Ping drivers are phenomenal.
Your fairway wood as well. Are you still in the QI10?
Yeah, a hell of a fairway wood.
Everyone in the world seems to be in that fairway wood. Non-contracted, TaylorMade players. There's something
Got a bit
about
of a theory on this, right?
Go on.
If you have a look at the head, I've actually measured it. So the head is the thickest freewood head.
Depth.
From depth, it's the thickest freewood head you can buy, apart from the mini drivers, obviously. It's the thickest one. Pings are the shallowest, longest. But so my toe to heel strike ain't a bad miss. It's the top to bottom. My bottom point ain't great, basically, in my golf swing. So this is why I believe that fairway wood. It's only a few mil, but you'll be surprised how much that affects on gear effect, and how when you're actually striking a ball off the tee or off the fairway, you'll be surprised how much a couple of mil does make a difference. And that head is bottom to top the thickest head the biggest measurement head they've ever done.
We've been trying to delve through the mystery of why,
and I think that's
the
why,
unicorn, and we might just solve it. Dan Jimmy's done it for us, right?
Going
to wrap it up
one
there.
more.
Hang on, we're not going to wrap it up there.
One more.
We are not going to wrap it up there.
I'll tell you one thing that I got massively on, right? And I didn't know they'd done it. How upright your driver is.
Yep.
I couldn't believe for us to buy them off the shelves, you go with a standard loft, mate. You mess around with loft. Lie angle with driver. It's a game changer.
Same with fairway woods. You'd be surprised as well. The more loft you put on it, so you see so many people on the tour vans. So Rich Mansell, who we just spoke with, his fairway woods stealth. He was in stealth, TaylorMade stealth. Now he's in the QI35, but they use the bonded hosel stuff. So normally you can flit around on the sleeve, can't you, to create more upright. Now when they're bonded hosel, you've seen them do that on the tour van, where they literally just bend it like an iron, clamp it in clamp it in the air compressor.
That's what I've got to get into.
Well, I think
a TaylorMade fitting may be coming up my way soon.
Or we just have a crowdfund and we get you an air compressor, stick it in the gaff at home. We just start. I'll come round. We'll bend a load of clubs. We'll make a night of it. Yeah.
But I love your stuff. Thanks
Brilliant.
for having us on.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. And here's your new host of Kickpoint, Jimmy Bullard. I'm gone.
That was every bit as good as I remember it being, sat behind the camera, Joe.
Some of these equipment chats tail off into all sorts of little tangents, don't they? You don't think you're going to hear, as we said, Cumberlands in FootJoys. You don't think you're going to hear, I'm horny for golf equipment.
Locking himself in the Wisley with your man,
with his man who does all his little stuff. And he's got some really interesting thoughts. And honestly, there's some concepts in there about how he goes so much lighter with certain equipment and how just tinkering around with that stuff, he genuinely thinks that changed his game. He's about four handicap player for quite some time, and then just by going significantly lighter in total and swing weight, he felt he just all of a sudden had a much better command over the golf club, as he alluded to, just not the mic, but 4 shots of difference. He's a scratch to +1 player now. 4 or 5 shots of difference.
Huge. That is at his level, at that level, part of the game.
Massive, absolutely massive. So if people are out there thinking equipment, it doesn't make much, well, you're unlikely to if you're listening to this, but that's an example of go, tinker, experiment. Listen to me a bit if you want. Listen to some other people, but go and work it out for yourself. Try some stuff. And I know it can be expensive, but lead tape's not that expensive. So try some different weights. Grips aren't too bad. You can flit around and try some different tapes and different. There's loads of things to try. And if nothing else from that Jimmy Bullard interview there, go and have fun with it. Go and play and try some stuff.
You asked me a really good question actually, where it was like, is this just a laugh for you now because you've done the competitive stuff? And he said, yeah, this is just a giggle for me now. And you can tell in the way he holds himself and the way he plays. And God, he's so good. He might be my favourite person in the industry now.
He is, isn't he? Do you know what? should I put myself out there and risk? Because he gave me his number. I'm playing golf with Sam from Adidas. He's coming down to see me in Devon.
Have a little word.
Should I invite him along, do you reckon? See if he can.
I think he would.
Because he did say he'd like to play something.
As part of your Vibesman call to action we did 3 weeks ago now, where you're going to take on YouTubers with 6 subs. He'd love that because he knew you before you hustled him over because he's seen some of your stuff and loves it. I think he'd be keen for that. We'll get yourself on the Golf Life channel.
As soon as we wrap up here, I'm texting him.
Yeah, text him now. So I hope you enjoyed that as much as we did, as much as we did putting that together. Thank you, Jimmy, for coming on and spending some time with us. And you might have seen Joe trying to wrap up, and you wouldn't have seen me behind the camera going, just keep going.
This is great, go.
Keep going. Well, I can't remember where I was going now.
It's been a long day, hasn't it?
What was I saying?
You're acting like we've been filming for a year straight.
Yeah.
with no break here. You were
It's actually been 52 episodes in a row.
What other final thank yous do we need to do? I want to thank our managers, our bosses at Golf Monthly for allowing us to do this, providing this opportunity. It's been so much fun. I think you'd agree this is the funnest
best
part
thing
of our
I've
job.
done, yeah.
Yeah,
period.
So thanks for allowing that to be a thing.
And thank you for watching and listening, quite frankly, because without you, we'd got stopped a long time ago. So there's enough of you keeping this thing afloat, which is great. Oh, and the sponsors that have come on, actually, and actually looked at this and gone, I want to spend money with it. So that's all good, isn't it? So loads more to come. I hope you enjoyed all of that. We don't know what's coming up next week. So
we'll see,
won't we? I'm struggling to wrap this up, Joe. Should we just leave?
Yes, thank you very much. Happy anniversary. Yes, my fart.